Alright, so I'm gonna try and make this as straightforward as possible and stick to the point. But basically, this is just gonna be my opinion or hopes of how I can get or we can get Goten and Trunks or a kind of solo character ish like Android 17 and 18 are, where they become playable. And the fusion thing, I don't really, it's cool, but I want it to be separate characters. So this is my ideas of how we can get that. So basically, just obviously we're gonna have the fusion in there still. I would still like to see the fusion because fusion's cool, whatever. They have cool techniques when they're fused. But for this idea or for this character, I would like to see if they're gonna be one character together. I would like to see this be their ultimate. Like that will be, and that's the only time you'll see it. They're not going to be fusing and then you see it for very long because I know that that's not how the game is currently played. So yeah, that will just be a fusion and that'll be their ult. And then so special techniques individually. So my idea is also that when you teleport with these characters, that's how you can switch between the two. So instead of it being the same way as Android 17 and 18, where it's like he just comes in as an assist, which is kind of whack. You would actually be able to use the character. Their moves are going to be pretty much the same, so like combos and stuff, you're going to be putting in the same buttons. I think that will just make it easier for production and easier to use the character. Really, they will have like one or two unique moves, which I'll go into later. But this will be one of his unique moves for Kid Trunks. It's just a key blast that he uses like to evade. So I'm thinking similarly to Gohan, adult Gohan, where he kind of shoots a key blast and like dashes back. So that would be kind of cool to see that because I was finding it hard to like find ways for Trunks to have a unique move. But that's what I found. But also, as they're gonna be played in my hopes as Android 17 and 18, they will share unique moves as well, I guess. So it would be he would have also Goten's ones, which makes sense. They share the body. He can have anything. He can do Kamehameha. So that's it. He also has this as a potential unique move, which is kind of like the Final Flash, only he shoots two beams, sort of like the way that Krillin does, and then he controls it so that it doesn't blow up the stage. So, you know, that could be maybe utilized so he could shoot that blast, and if it hits them, it carries them up, and he can continue a combo after or whatever. But that would be another way to have him have a unique move because otherwise they're both going to be doing Kamehamehas for their beams, which I'm cool with as well as long as I get these two characters. So this is the goal. So again, another unique move for Trunks, after image effectively. So similar to Krillin, you could just be using the same sort of play style for that technique there, where he teleports or fades out and comes back and attacks. So yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to see that potentially. This is just a freeze frame where this could happen at the end of their ult, like when Android 17 does the ultimate and then he kneels down. This could be like if they do the ultimate together, you can just get the fist bump thing. That would be kind of cool. Or similarly, this could be like their entrance. So like when the entrance would be like this, and then they do a thumbs down here after that, which would be cool. Yeah, so that would be alright. And then Goten now. So Goten's unique moves would be obviously this, which I would imagine would play the same way as Kid Goku, with the Kamehameha movement. So he'd be able to do that. And for this, like, I would expect it or would like it to be in the air as well. So he would use it exactly the same way as Goku uses his Kamehameha when he's a kid. This is another cool freeze frame, which, it would be kind of cool to see this kind of thing play out in one of the screens where they're about to do their ultimate together. So I have the idea that they would potentially have two ultimates, so or maybe even three, but three's kind of pushing it. I know they're not going to really try to do that, and it's not even realistic that this will even happen. But yes, two ultimates. So Trunks and Goten, separate ultimate where they just kind of like throw hits and like then they end with key blasts, which would be like this, like they're throwing key blasts and also doing hits together, which will be kind of cool to see. But yeah, I would like to see that. But mainly, the idea is that they would play like Android 17 and 18 only with the teleport. So to talk about energy, I would I could deal with it costing 1 bar to change character and teleport. Like, obviously it costs 1 bar to change to teleport anyway. So if you're gonna change character or whatever to goten or to Trunks, that's how you do it. It'll be the only way you can do it. You can't be punched to change character. The health would be the same for both characters when they switch in and out. So it wouldn't be like, oh, you get bonus health or you have an extra character like that. So that would be the way that I balance it, with being able to get 2 characters for the price of 1. Obviously, this is just one idea. I would still not mind having them individually, but I think this would be a cool way to do it, and it would kind of tie in with the way that things have been happening in the game so far. And the ultimate. So after that, they have these two have an ultimate together. So that's why I would like to see them have like 1 or 2 ultimates together. So this would be one of the other frames potentially for their ultimate. And here again, where potentially you would get to press, your super button to get more damage or less damage, because in this particular attack, they're shooting blasts together, and goten leaves. So one would be you're doing it together, the blast, and then goten would leave if you don't press the other trigger and use an extra bar. So obviously this would cost a normal 3 bars if you did the separate attack, which would consist of these attacks here. So yeah, that would be how that would happen, and then at the end of those flurry of attacks, you would get to this beam, and then you would decide if you're going to use the extra blast. If you do, you get one of these frames, and then you'd get the extra damage, and you'd use the extra key. But what I would like to see also is sparking. When you go sparking with goten or Trunks, I would like for them to both be Super Saiyan. Like, so if I go sparking and I've got 4 energy, when I'm changing between the characters while teleporting, the Super Saiyan should be on both of them. And when I go out of Super Saiyan because sparking is now gone, then Super Saiyan would be gone. I just feel like transformations is a thing that is like slept on in this game, and I get it. Like, obviously they started it this way, and we know what the intention was, because everyone knows 9 times out of 10 people watch Dragon Ball Z for the transformations, and that was literally carrying the support for the followers. Yeah, so I would like to see that in the game. Obviously, you have only got it for Golden Frieza. It would be nice to see that again with another character. And I think this would be a nice way to do it, because obviously they came Super Saiyan at very young ages, and it plays into that as well, which is kind of cool. So yeah, they would be potentially starting in their Saiyan forms, not Super Saiyan. So you'd have to, use the sparking to get that. And then obviously if they get the Super Saiyan, then you'd get potentially one of the ultimates that I've been talking about. You would get to use that instead of it being just available to them when they're at base level or something like that, just so you get something extra out of making a transformation, and it's not just a gimmick where they go yellow hair, because that's kind of whack. But I think realistically, that's what I would like to see. That's what I'm looking for in the future. If this could happen, if it could be like this, it would be great. But I think that's it. To be honest, I think I've covered as much as would really be necessary for some kind of idea for you guys to see what I'm thinking in how I want these characters to become real, basically. So yeah, peace.